Well, a whole lot happening in Abia State. You must have seen the news report about some developments in the state concerning, well, an alleged report by an online journalist to the extent that the state government has come up to say, well, all that you saw from him were all false, and in fact he demanded money from the state government before he went to town with that particular report. Joining us to look at the Abia State issue, the developments in Abia State this morning, is an indigent and a public affairs analyst from Abia State, Ubani. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, a whole lot of issues happening development-wise in Abia State, and particularly that particular report that showed a lot of pictures about what is happening in the state. The government has said, well, people are hell-bent in tarnishing its image and bringing up false stories and pictures. You're from that state. What do you make of what is happening in your own state?
Yes. Let me first of all thank Channel's television station for having this way of letting people air their views, whether for good or for bad. I can tell you that it has gotten to a point in Abia State where youths in public places are beginning to see some media organizations as complicit to the shenanigans going on in the state. Because we live in a place where used to have several industries that had the potentials to take Nigeria, not just Abia, beyond where we are industrially, because it triggers from somewhere. By 1983-84, Aba, the commercial nerve center of today's Abia State, had identified close to 2,000 small and medium-scale enterprises. And
that was in the early 80s.
In the early 80s. And the first indigenous company to be quoted on the Nigerian Stock Exchange was from that environment, Onwuka High-Tech Industries. At that point, we were manufacturing rocket nails, these things we import from even Vietnam today. So, as people suffering from myopia laid their fangs on the resources of the state, plundered it, and this collapse set in, we began to wonder, what is going on? And the answer is not far-fetched. Another industry has taken over Abia, and that industry is Sycophancy. So, you want to make money from the governor, cook up one award, give him icon of democracy in a state that has never conducted local government elections. That is where you award icon of democracy.
But a lot of states haven't actually conducted.
That's what I am saying. So can't someone do it right?
Abia is no exception.
Can't someone do it right? Why must we be part of those? We would have ignored it. Like you said, every other state in Nigeria is not conducting local government elections. But why are you bagging icon of democracy? Where is that coming from? So let's not even get distracted with that. In terms of development, Abia is backwards. I drive around the country. Very recently, I moved from Enugu through Abakaliki, Ukep, and passed through the Tigidi Bridge into Calabar. You see work going on in states. You see caterpillars, you see earth movers working. States, federal government projects. Our state has not done any work that is sustainable.
Sorry, but I'm coming here. Let me just take you back a little bit to the area of investment and industrialization. You mentioned one of those companies, Onwuka High-Tech Industries.
Right.
I also know that there used to be a Star Pepper Mills and all of that. But the question is it the government that killed these industries or the management?
Yes, I'll tell you. Everywhere in this country, including Abia, you see governors and political office holders junketing to different countries of the world, attracting investments, which means government understands the role it should play in bringing investments. But you don't need to go to China to bring investment. when the small investor, the local investor that can put his 500,000, put his 1 million, put his 10 million and 100 million, has no access roads. When we talk about palm produce, because it's not just about the oil, palm produce cuts across a litany of byproducts. We have them. As I speak with you, squatting in Lagos, I have well over 100 plots of land in my community, and none is worth 50,000 naira because there are no roads.
But I think.
But Lagos can survive on land deals alone.
But we've seen some roads constructed by the government. For instance, the Intiga-Umbosi road in Sialangwa North local government area. That's another road the government has actually done.
Have you passed that road? Have you passed any of these roads? That's why I started by telling you that it got to a point where Abia indigents were beginning to feel that the media houses are part of this nonsense. Because somebody commissions a borehole project, okay, with a small security house. The media guys in his government, because I am sure he won't sit down and ask these people to do it. But because he has an ego that needs to be massaged. So these young men who have nothing else to do but to massage the Oga's ego, take pictures of this same project from different angles and take to the media.
You know what?
We have had, we have had an issue of a water project being commissioned somewhere in Abia. They went to this day, took 4 pages, color pages, to advertise the same project. Is there one full color?
And you have evidence of this?
Oh, sure. These are there. On the 14th of last month, Punch newspapers published from page 73 to 81 list of projects done in 12 months in Akwa Ibom State. That's behind me there. List of projects from page 73 to 81. A list of projects, date of commissioning. So go and verify without pictures. And these were 448 projects done in 12 months.
Have you also verified the project?
They are verifiable, and I'll tell you
in your
why.
state, because
Okay.
well, because now they're saying that well, some people have actually come up. Look at what we have here: attempt to extort money from Abia State government
Yes.
by someone. It is right there over the weekend because they have refused to actually budge from some of these people who come in the guise of maybe journalists or analysts or concerned Abians.
Yes.
They go out to town to rubbish the good works, the legacy projects of the government.
You see, I also told you that since our industries collapsed, that a new industry has sprung up, and that is Sycophancy.
No, but let's get something straight.
And that's why
you talked about, sorry to
Yes.
butt in there, you talked about the collapse of industries.
That's right.
Did not happen from 2007 to now, or from 2011 till now. The collapse of industries, I'm sure, must have been something that, I mean, because you talked about the industry that was enlisted on the Nigerian Stock Exchange in the 80s.
Correct.
When did this collapse happen?
Okay. You see, government is a continuum.
Agreed.
Good. And each time there is this collapse, it takes a government that headed by a visionary, a government that can assimilate, incubate ideas, a government headed by someone who is not myopic of to see that this trend of collapse needs to be stopped.
So
and I will give you an example.
In other words, it's very important to get straight. In other words,
Yes.
your grounds is that the government hasn't done enough to revive this collapsed company.
Because they don't even have an idea. You cannot do enough if you don't have an idea of what to do.
Not that they collapsed the companies themselves.
Let me tell you. Of course, it is progressive. If you cannot stop the trend, then it continues. Every wrong action you take deteriorates the situation. Look at what happened in Lagos State, without trying to blow anybody's trumpet. A set of guys came in 1999 and saw this decay coming. And they said this thing has to stop. If you used to know Marina before 1999 and see Marina today, you will know that some people knew that this is the central business